What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Tea Time with Tarah show. I am your host, Tarah M. Williams. At Tea Time with Tarah, we believe you have a voice and it needs to be heard. I am your chaos coordinator and goal management specialist. You can go to www.stalkyourdestiny.com for more information about that. On this season of the Tea Time with Tara show, we are asking our guests, what do you need on your journey to stalk your destiny? And we're using my book, The ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny, to discuss those things, those topics. So if you'd like to purchase your own copy of my book, the description below will help you get the link. You can go there, you can get your book, and you can come along with us on this journey. Please feel free to comment below also and let us know what you need on your journey to stalk your destiny as well. Put things in their proper place. And when you put things in their proper place, then you're able to see how much more time you have to focus on other things. And if your professional life, if your business life, if you're trying to make a life for yourself, if those things are not in order, then stop rushing to the comfort of a dependent person. Stop rushing to lean on someone else if you are not taking care of your own situation, your own life. That's a really, really big distraction because we all want and need the social connection in terms of another person, in terms of love and endearment, those types of things, companionship. We need those things, but put them in proper place. And there's a saying, I think I've said it before, do what you have to do so that you can do what you want to do. My guest today is Marlon Whitfield, and Marlon chose understanding
Yes, 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 yes.
as the word to stalk his destiny. So I'm going to read that in our book, The ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny, and then we're going to get into the discussion for the day.
Let's do it.
Understanding. Understanding is an integral part of effective communication. How we move forward with things if we do not, how can we move forward with things if we do not understand what is needed or how to approach it? Gaining understanding is a tough battle, though would be easier. This seemed like, sorry, y'all, it might be typos in here. Okay. Or I might just be reading this wrong. So bear with me, okay? Gaining understanding is a tough battle, though it would be easier if we knew how to listen and accept what is given to us to use. What I mean by this is that sometimes what we interpret to be true may not be true for the message given. We must show and get approved that we truly understand what is going on. When stalking your destiny, there are several things that you must understand. You must understand what you want and why. You must understand, okay, what you want and why. Without having an understanding for yourself, it is easy to take your future in the direction that others wish it to go rather than where you desired in the first place. It's important to understand who you are. Identity is everything and a great platform to stand on. Without understanding who you are, it's hard to navigate where you're going. You must understand you must understand where you're going. This is where research comes in. The internet is always available for information. There are many books that can be read, people to talk to, and learn from. There are also life experiences. Some you seek out, others seek you out. Gaining an understanding of who you are and where you are going is a great start. Being able to communicate that with those who may help you on your journey is something that takes time and lessons as well. Putting yourself out there for opportunity to come your way is a risk, but necessary. After you know the above, you must find out how you will get to where you want to go. Designing a roadmap and understanding what needs to be done to achieve that goal or those goals takes sacrifice. Every day is a decision. Every conversation you have is a decision that can help you continue to go forward or hinder you. Making sure you try to understand others as they understand you is a key to your success. Understand who you are, where you are going, and how you will get there.
Awesome.
So let's welcome our guest, you guys, Marlon Whitfield.
Yay! Ooh.
He wants the sound effects,
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah, yeah. Just in case.
Thank you for being on the show today, Marlon. How are
Thank you for
you?
having me. I'm awesome. I'm amazing.
Good. So tell us a little bit about yourself, and what you do in the community, because it's an
Okay.
honor to have you here on the
Oh.
show. But I'm not sure that people, who know me, may know
Yeah, yeah,
who you
yeah,
are
yeah.
and what you do in the community.
So one of the things I do, I have a foundation called the Whitfield Foundation for Success.
Hmm.
So it's a nonprofit 501(c)(3), and we focus on providing programs that are based in STEAM, so science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. It's about a 7,000 square foot facility on the south side. And within that building, we have like a full recording studio. We have a gaming facility that's in the back. We do a number of different things. It's all about exposure for kids, right?
Hmm.
So we have coding classes. We teach them golf, which is at a young age, which is
Oh,
kind of cool. We do art therapy, so they get to paint and express themselves through art, and same thing through spoken word. So we do that throughout the foundation.
and what age group is that?
Typically ranging from a 7, 8-year-old on up to 18. We do
Okay.
have some programs that go up to the 24, 25-year-old. So those
Okay.
are more workshops. But yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And so why is understanding, and you can take this and run with it. Why is
Hmm.
understanding the word you chose as what you need for your journey to stalk your destiny?
I think understanding is really, really important, and it comes a couple of different ways. You mentioned a couple of them, like understanding your why. Why are you doing certain things? But I think understanding provides clarity on your journey. So if I understand why something's happening to me, it makes it easier to go through that, right?
Yeah.
If I understand that this is a part of the process, as opposed to it's being not for me, then it helps me really stay motivated on that path. So understanding, I believe, is huge when it comes to either being an entrepreneur or just living everyday life.
Hmm.
Because really, again, like you spoke about knowing yourself, right? Understanding who you are.
Yeah.
And I think on certain paths, understanding is important because you get challenged sometimes. And when you know what you can and can't do, or really it's the only way you can learn, right? Or what you can and can't do if you're challenged. But
Yeah.
understand again that this is to make you better
Hmm.
and to push you forward. I think when I was younger, I used to, I was a when I started out, I was a door-to-door salesman for T-Mobile. I sold
Okay.
wireless service. It took 3 years of doing that for me to understand that I didn't like doing that. Well, certain aspects of it, let me say.
Okay.
So, one part that I knew I loved is I love presenting. Like I would write up proposals, and when it was time to present, I loved that part.
Hmm.
The part that I hated was going door to door saying, "Hey, who's in charge of your cell phone?" and people kicking me out. Like I hated doing that part. It was
Hmm.
a part of it, but I hated it. But learning that, my next job, I knew I said, "Man, I love presenting. Let me find a job that just allows me to present and not do the cold calling."
So
Uh,
you understood your strengths and weaknesses.
Absolutely. I ended up finding a job as I was a regional training manager for Microsoft Windows Phone, and I loved that job.
Hmm.
I traveled around really the states training on the operating system using technology, and I loved it. And I kind of understood my purpose at that point. So I think understanding it is a key part of just either being successful or just really on your journey. Understanding, is this for me, or is this happening for me, or is this happening to me? Right,
Right.
and those are two different ways of deciding which way should I go.
Yeah, and with that as well too, for those of you who are listening in or watching, with understanding, gosh, you just said it and I just lost it completely. I just lost
It
it.
happens, it
Oh,
happens.
is this happening to me or is this happening for me? And
Right.
so, oftentimes people take things personally,
Yeah.
and they have their personal issues with it versus actually seeing a thing for what it is.
Right, 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 right.
And even that part you have to be able to you have to reach an understanding,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
because that is the challenge is that this thing made me feel a way,
yeah.
and now I have to figure out why I
Mhm,
feel this way and what I'm going to do about it and what are my options. And oftentimes we don't pause to think things through,
mhm.
to find out, is this something I can apply or is this something I'm just going to let my unhealed self, go against?
Right, 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 right. And what's interesting with that is even as being a leader, right?
Mhm.
When you go through certain things and you're in a position and somebody makes you feel a certain way, when you become when you're in that role, now you know how you felt when certain things were said to you a certain way because you
Right.
have understanding, and now you know how to better communicate or more effectively communicate because you got understanding in that role. So
Yeah.
again, it's important to go through certain things like that.
Yeah, and I like how you said about your experiences because um, people don't necessarily want to have they want to have the results without the experience,
Yeah, yeah.
and even the 3 years of with T-Mobile, some people, they would rather just learn from your experience of that, but you can learn from my experience, you'll never have the knowledge and wisdom that I gained from it
Facts.
because you have to walk it out yourself.
Yeah.
And so I think that people, y'all, if y'all listen, the lesson here is like go through it, run to it, run to the challenges,
Yeah.
because that's where your elevation resides.
Yeah. 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 I even say some of the things I've learned as being an entrepreneur, because I'm on this side of it as a consumer, I didn't even understand it. So for instance, when I used to have friends who were promoters, right? Before I
Hmm.
became an entrepreneur. And when they throw events, I'm like, man, you my friend. You should let me in free, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you my partner. I can get in free. Like me and my, let us in free, man.
Right.
As an entrepreneur, I know that that's a cost to that. I'm losing money by letting you in free. Yes, you my friend,
Yeah.
but as a friend, maybe you should buy a ticket to support me
Especially if you
because
want to
it
come
costs.
to the event.
Absolutely, but I didn't realize that until I became an entrepreneur.
Oh yeah.
I did events, right? And I'm like, oh, I see what he's talking about now. Because
Yes.
on the other hand, I'm like, man, come on, you can let us in. This ain't hurting you. But
Right.
in reality, it does, right? That's space that somebody could have paid and took up that was paying. So
Yeah.
being on the other side and having the understanding of being on both sides gives you more clarity. And you like, yo, I didn't think about it that way. Or I used to have a friend that worked in the restaurant business. So every time I would come there, because we there, like they give us either free burger or free drinks or whatever the case may be. I actually became a restaurant owner. And I'm like, yo, that's profit that you eating up, dude. Like you can't give stuff away. But it took me being on the other side of it to
Yeah.
understand that there's a cost, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes understanding is not just for me, is for the other person as well. Because once you do both sides of it, you're like, yeah, now I understand it better. Now it makes
Yeah,
sense to
now you're
me.
getting into the value of
Oh,
something,
oh,
because even in understanding, some people in sales or things they suggest, give a free item, give something for free to draw in, to draw people in and draw persons in, but we get
right.
so into that mentality because of lack of understanding and lack of value
Mm-hmm.
that we undervalue what we have to offer by doing that to reel in people versus understanding that we really are losing. We're losing key people, we're losing key things unless we just had an offer that was already, at low cost or
Yeah.
value. And even still with even your time, and I'm guilty of this. Like I give my time and I give, and I've been putting up boundaries. Okay, y'all don't call me. Don't call me unless you need me. But I've been learning. I had to learn that. I had to get an understanding of why do I want to help people so much
Mm-hmm.
and why am I not helping myself, in that. And so understanding my value in that, putting in boundaries, in place. Now I know and I understand that I can give to you, but you must also understand that you have to invest in yourself
Mm-hmm.
as well because I'm investing my time. And if it's a mutual investment here, we can go further
Yeah.
in that because I'm
Yeah.
honoring you and you are honoring me as well,
Mhm.
in that.
Mhm.
So value comes into play, especially with morals as well.
Yeah.
Morals come into play with that, with if I'm going to run this company and I value you as the consumer or I value you as the employee, I'm going to teach you the right way
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
morals, and scheming just does not benefit any of us.
Right. Right. Now, I agree, and I think also, when you talked about value and understanding as a, business owner, as an entrepreneur, I think it's important to really, understand the business side of things. So quick, we as entrepreneurs, we ready to jump into it, right? Let me get my logo,
Yeah.
let me get a
Jump to the
building, and
end.
I'm jumping right into it, right?
Yeah.
But if I really value my customers or, the service that I'm doing, I'm gonna take time to really understand the industry. I'm going to
Mhm.
invest in myself, whether I'm spending time, whether I go to school or spending time really understanding the market right now, looking at new technologies. Is there a better way to do this? Is there another place? Like you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Taking time to understand, or is someone else doing this better in another city, in another
Yeah.
country? But that's the things that really come into play when you again want to understand the business. That's why that word for me is so important.
Yeah.
Because understanding it provides clarity on so many different levels in
Mhm.
both sides of the field.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but I think you are. But it would tea time with Tara is business and Bible basics,
Mhm.
and so I believe it's in the Bible that says, "In all you're getting, get understanding."
Mhm.
And so that's one thing that, and even having peace that passes all understanding, that comes with the clarity.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have
yeah.
peace that passes all understanding when you understand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
When
yeah.
you understand that things are either in, according to plan or out of your hands, when you accept that, then you can get the peace that passes all understanding as well. But in all you're getting, get understanding in our relationships with one another, in our business relationships, um, in how we treat ourselves.
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
an understanding because in getting that full understanding, you can operate all the more better.
yeah,
Because
yep,
of that clarity. That clarity allows you to just skyrocket forward. And y'all know with me and goals, y'all have them bunched up in your head, and I often say you need to do a mind purge. Like, yes, we know with Stalk Your Destiny that everything you want to become you already are,
okay.
but most people hold so much in their head that they don't have a full understanding because the picture that they have is jumbled together.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
so in doing that mind purge, it may make you feel vulnerable. It makes a lot of people feel vulnerable. But in doing that, you can fully see what it is you're visualizing. And then you can reach an understanding and know what I don't know. You can see what you do and don't know,
right,
to know
right.
which areas of training or connection you need to go into next. And y'all, we had a kind of a little bit of a spat and talk and things going on here behind the scenes before we started here. But I know my lane. I know what I can and cannot do
Right,
myself. I know my forte and what's not at all my business. But that's very important, when you're going forward in your life, whether business or personal,
yeah,
to understand your attributes.
right, right, right. And you said something that I wanted to back up, because it dawned on me when you said, you need peace to get to understanding. Um, Sometimes peace also equals stillness,
Yeah.
right? Instead of you responding to things quickly and emotionally, sit still and search for that understanding
Yeah.
of what did they mean when they said something to me. Instead of me getting so angry and responding emotionally, be still and wait for that understanding. Like, okay, what do they really mean by that? Like, I heard it a certain way, but me being in my feelings, I may have took it a little bit different than they intended. So sometimes be at peace and being still.
Ladies.
I didn't want to say it, but listen, if the
He
shoe
talking to
fit,
us, okay?
go to prom. No, so but
Not
being
go to
able
prom.
to, but being able to, and that peace, being able to be still, and search for understanding. And that's in anything that you're going through. If
Mm,
something isn't going right in your life, that peace is just that stillness, right? To
yeah.
really sit back and sometimes that puts things into perspective. Like
Yeah.
when you're going through it, sometimes it feel like the world is falling down on your head. But when you take a minute to sit back and like, is this really the worst? Like, hold on.
Right.
And you look things and you put things in perspective and you say, okay, you know what? I overreacted a little bit because
Mhm.
one thing will happen and another little thing and another little thing, and all of a sudden it feel like everything is against you. But those are
Right.
minor incidents.
Yeah.
And then when you're still for a minute, that understanding seems to creep in and like, okay, I
Yeah.
can get through this.
And even with that, y'all, I can speak on that personally.
Yeah.
Okay, because we get serious with this tea time stuff, y'all. Okay. If you've been to any of the gatherings in person, you know that I spill all the tea and using my life as an example of lessons and experiences, okay?
Yeah.
And so all of majority of 2023, I would say, were periods of rest for me, and not comfort, but periods of rest. Because we know the Bible tells us that um after you've done all you can to stand and stand firm, and so for me, I'd be like, I'm sitting down. Okay. I'm sitting down. I throw my hands up. I did all I can do. Now I have to just wait and take a minute. Like you said, take a break, pause, don't do anything,
Right.
and
Right.
most of the time, the situations work themselves out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
the things around you are still moving. Life is still going on when
Mhm.
you sit still, but you don't have to worry about that. If you do your part, do what you can. It's like planting a seed and watching it grow. You've done what you can. You
Right.
you tended to the soil. You planted it in good soil. You watered it. You got it in, the sunlight or whatever. Then you watch that thing grow. And so um for you all that may be dealing with really tough situations that you don't know what to do, because I've had many of those moments in
Yeah.
2023
Yeah.
where I just did not know what to do, but I have many testimonies of when I sat down, and this is for, you all listen, this is business and Bible basics. So I sat down because I was like, God, you handle it. You handle it. I did everything you told me to do. I don't know which way to go now. I understood that there was nothing more for me to do at that point. I understood I didn't know which way to go. And sitting back and trusting God and building that trust and that understanding really, really helps you on your journey. You don't have to overdo things yourself. You can run yourself right into the gutter if you don't sit back. You can cause an accident in your own life. If you're not willing to sit back and gain full understanding, if you're not willing to sit back and trust the work that you've done, and first of all, do good work. Do good work and treat people good. And then, in those things, then when you sit back, you're not feeling guilt. You're not feeling shame. When you sit back, you can rest and have peace of mind
Yeah.
in that thing, and like you said, you can digest information. Slow down. I was telling a client before last year in 2023, I was telling one of my clients that you can slow time down around you. You can unplug from social media. You can turn off your TV. You can journal. You can literally slow time around you down. And so if you don't have a full understanding and the world is spinning around you, breathe.
There you go. Yeah.
Pause, slow down, because hard times will come.
Oh,
Okay?
absolutely. Absolutely.
They will
Absolutely.
come and you can get through them. But that's just like swimming. Have you like if you're swimming and it gets rough and you start to drown, and I have drowned,
Whoa.
okay?
We talking to a ghost?
I have drowned before. We're talking to adults.
A ghost. You said,
Oh,
"I drowned." If you drown, like,
I
how are
didn't
you sit
die.
okay. Oh,
I drowned. I
okay.
didn't die.
Somebody did CPR and brought you back, or how did that
No, by
okay.
drowning, I literally went to the bottom of the river.
Oh,
I drowned.
okay.
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 And so, but in that, if you panic while drowning, you die.
Okay.
If you panic, that's what
I
happens. So
okay.
if you don't panic, you float naturally in the water.
You can swim?
I can swim. I was in
Okay.
the middle of the river.
I can't swim.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I
If
float
you can't
naturally though.
swim, don't do it.
Yeah,
Don't
I
do
don't
it.
like this, analogy.
Don't do
No,
it.
I don't think I can't float. I try to float and I go straight to but okay.
You probably overthink it. You probably overthink it, but I'm saying it's better if you don't panic,
Okay.
in a in turmoil,
Yeah, yeah,
okay?
yeah,
Whether in a
yeah.
swim look, y'all, the swimming I threw y'all off, huh? I didn't mean to throw
Don't panic,
y'all
just
off.
go to the bottom and don't panic.
No, I don't do what I did. I drowned, okay? And I had to own that because I didn't have a full understanding that that's what happened. I was like, "Oh, I was just in the river and I went to the bottom and I had to come back up." And I came back up on a wing and a prayer, y'all, okay?
That part.
But I did not panic. Had I panicked, I would have died.
Okay.
So I did drown. And in situations, you are definitely in situations that are, where you are below water or water's above your head. I forgot
Right.
how they term it.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you're in those situations, don't panic.
Right.
Don't panic. Allow yourself to naturally come out of this. Sit back, get an understanding, pause, breathe, think it through,
That part.
or whatever, and go with the natural flow. Sometimes we have these anxiety situations and lack of understanding,
Yeah.
because you said we want to react and respond with emotion. Well, your emotion lies to you all the time, y'all. It lies. Your emotion just wants to just tell you whatever it wants to do at the time. It's so selfish.
Emotion want you wanna get his lick back. That's what emotion wanna
Yeah.
do. Emotion wants to get his lick back.
Yes, emotion wants revenge right away.
Yeah.
For stuff that it didn't even process in your mind to
Right.
say, is this even valid?
Yeah, yeah.
And so yes, get some full understanding because you are. I would take it a step further to say that even with the challenges that you faced,
Mhm.
you found out that you were more capable than you may have thought before.
Yeah, yeah, understanding a lot of times turn my test into testimonials.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yep. So y'all can comment below and tell us, what things have you faced that you overcame? What tests have come your way and trials
Yeah.
that became a triumph? So share below in the comments with us guys. What's your testimony? What is your testimony around understanding?
Yeah.
And understanding who you are, where you want to go, and understanding just how to navigate through challenges and
And
obstacles.
you know what? I think also try understanding the bigger picture sometimes is important as well. Because I think sometimes we get wrapped up in that's not my job description,
Ooh.
but understanding the bigger picture, can help push you through some of these difficult,
Oh yeah.
situations.
I learned I had a job where I call it marketing 101. That's
Okay.
not the name of the job, but that's what I call it, marketing 101. And they always had us, and it's wonderful people, y'all. The wonderful people had us going to um do this thing called juice.
Okay.
And so juice was like you're getting pumped up, like they were on energy drinks and stuff. And I don't drink energy drinks. So I had to act like I was on an energy drink, or whatever. But that's the excitement they wanted you to have. That's the
Yeah.
energy that they wanted you to have. But they always talk to us about going the extra mile
Mhm.
in that. And I don't know where I was going with that because he just said something. So y'all have to
I was talking
pay
about, like,
attention.
the bigger
The
picture,
bigger
not
picture, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's not my job description.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
it hit
yeah,
me at. That
yeah.
going the extra mile. You guys, if you're going to be great at anything, and you can tell me if you agree or not, but if you're
Okay.
going to be great at anything, you've got to be willing to go a little bit overboard. You've got to be willing to um
Yeah,
at least gain an understanding of the pieces that are moving around you. So you can say, "Well, that's not my job," and you will n- you're gonna stay at that position. You're going
absolutely.
to stay there because you didn't even learn from your manager what their job is. You didn't learn from your business partner what their job is. And don't get
Yeah,
me wrong, I'm not saying you have to learn and master what everybody else has going on. If it's not your lane, it's not your lane.
right.
But at least having knowledge of their abilities as well, having knowledge of the abilities of people around you expand everything,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
because you can learn when to apply those things,
Mhm.
and you can call on people and connect people on who is good at what,
Yeah,
and then if you're able to do more as well, or that willingness to do and be more can connect you more to your destiny and your purpose
mhm.
even faster because then people can call on you.
Facts. And also I think I've been in situations where, um you never know who's watching, but I understand that I'm always on stage. No matter where I go, I have a mentality that always on stage, meaning somebody's watching me. So what anything that I do it with a purpose. I do it to the best of my abilities. And I've had people even inbox me like, man, I see you doing this, and that's motivated me to go want to try and do this myself. Or, hey, I had this going on. I saw this, and now that I saw you do it, now I want to go and make sure I can go after. So you never know who's watching you. I've had people that get jobs just by based on them, somebody walking in, seeing them doing extra stuff that wasn't in their job
Mhm.
description. And they're like, oh, wow, you do that. Hey, I got a position over here. Would you
Yeah.
be interested? And it's again, it's based on understanding your own personal why and understanding what you want and understanding the bigger picture in
Yeah.
life. I've had jobs that got me into rooms or places that I wanted to be, but the job I was doing, I did not want to do that. Like, and a certain part of me, like, man, I got a degree, I got this experience, like I don't need to be doing this. However, it got me in the room of these places that I want, and I understood that. If
Mhm.
I can get in the room, did you know that P. Diddy used to be a backup dancer, but he was in those rooms
Right.
learning the game. And he understood like this is my start, right? This is not the end. I'll be a backup dancer to get in the room. Cause I understand where I want to go.
To leverage greatness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So again, if you understand the bigger picture in life, sometimes you'll walk through some turmoil, but if you
Mhm.
understand it'll help you keep that engine going.
Yeah, I definitely have gotten a couple of jobs by volunteering. Just
Mm-hmm.
seeing that they needed help and I just had time that day, like, yeah, okay, you look like you need help. And that's the thing, me giving of myself as well, but helping then got me job offers. Then
Yeah.
got, like, oh, we can hire you today because, what you did, the person we was trying to hire wouldn't even do that,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Because understand it's not always about you, right? Sometimes you do stuff and it's the greater good.
Exactly.
It's the
Yeah.
greater good.
Yeah, and we have to because each one reach one, or I think that's the thing, y'all. Each one teach one, I
Mhm.
believe.
All that.
But we all work together.
Yeah.
It's like whatever we're doing, this big engine. Many members in one body. We all work together in this earth.
Yeah, yep.
Whether we want to work together or not, we all are connected in some form or fashion. I know
Yes.
they say that there are 6 degrees of separation. But I've been saying here lately for the past couple years that it's really 1 degree of
1
separation.
or 2, yeah, yeah,
Somebody
yeah, yeah,
knows the other person that you're
yeah.
trying to get to,
Mhm.
even with, and I mean, y'all, I don't recommend you do this, but for my mindset is that celebrities are real people,
They
and that's
are,
how I treat them. When I
they
meet
are.
them, I treat them like a regular person who went to work,
Yeah. No, and
and
that's
I'm
what
like,
it
"Oh,
is.
your work is so great. Thank you for what you do."
Yeah.
And so yeah, y'all, we're talking about a lot of stuff. So I hope y'all are digesting this, for your own life and for where you are in your life as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
But you making a lot of points. I do want to know, this is just random. I want to know what your shirt says because I feel like that's something that can
Oh,
inspire um
um,
the audience as well.
so my shirt says, "It's too many entrepreneurs, not enough hustlers."
Okay. And why did you choose that shirt for the
Um
day?
So I chose it because again when you understand that being an entrepreneur is really all about hustling. Some people get into it just because I want the title. I want to be a CEO. I want to be the president. And you can get an LLC and you're the president. But they don't have the hustle of what it really takes to be a successful entrepreneur. So there's a lot of hustle that goes into it. You wear a lot of different hats. You can be the janitor. You're gonna be the cook. You're gonna be the maintenance man. You're gonna be all of that.
Absolutely.
And those are hats. So but that comes with the hustle. Sometimes you're up to 3, 4 in the morning and only get 2 hours of sleep because you got to get something done. But that's a
Mhm.
part of the hustle of being an entrepreneur and having your own. Because if you don't work, you don't eat. And in
Absolutely.
this side of the business,
And
um,
sometimes if you work, you still don't eat
oh,
because that's
absolutely.
the entrepreneur journey.
Oh, that is, yeah, yeah, yes, absolutely. Many a days. Um, but again, and some people just do it because I want to be an entrepreneur, and that's why I wear.
Yeah.
Yes, too many entrepreneurs, not enough hustlers.
Well, I understand that, and it's funny because I have a coach who she actually for when she coaches women, and she tells them to kill the hustler mentality. Now she don't tell us not to work because
No,
she's
I get
she's
it.
she's pushing it down your throat like work, 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 work,
Yeah,
work.
yeah,
But she's also saying, work at your pace. Don't be lazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Maximize
yeah,
the
yeah,
time that
yeah.
you do work, but kill the hustle mentality that you can't acknowledge when you are overwhelmed,
Mhm.
that you can't acknowledge when you are overworked. And so she's saying add balance to
Yeah,
it,
I agree
you know.
100%, yeah.
But I love your explanation that it's a hustle to be an entrepreneur anyway.
Yeah,
If you're going to
yes.
be successful at it, the grind is the grind,
Yeah,
period. And that requires that hustle mentality
yes.
as well.
Mhm.
So I just love that about what you said about hustlers and entrepreneurship. And I think people need to know that also we don't need everybody to be an entrepreneur.
Right,
Okay?
right.
Because we currently don't have enough service workers, and all of us who complain about customer service understand that we don't have enough service workers. We need people on every floor. You can be amazing at who you are and what you do without being the boss. Be the boss of what you do. Own your gifts. Okay, because some people are really great with children. You don't have to own a daycare to be the
Right.
best daycare worker because parents appreciate that. Some people are great at cleaning. They're very meticulous at cleaning. You don't have to be the owner of the company because the company needs great workers like you. Okay. So, y'all, I'm not talking against entrepreneurs. I am an entrepreneur myself. Okay. But I'm just letting you know we need workers as well. And we need great workers who we can treat you as if this company is yours as well, because
Right.
that's the best freedom you can have in that is if we can. That's Starbucks. Are you aware that Starbucks, when they employ people, those workers are called partners
I like it.
in
I
the
didn't know that.
company.
I
They
like
they
it.
own stock in the
I
company.
like it.
And they're told to, the reason they can be so personable with us is because they're told to make it their own. Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
make it your own. Every customer you encounter, you should know what they, if they're regulars, you should
yeah,
know what they want, call them by name. Like, they encourage that type of behavior.
yeah, yeah.
Now I know since maybe the pandemic, it's become a bit of a higher turnover.
Mhm,
However, prior to that, that was working really well.
mhm.
I don't know how it's working now. Starbucks don't, just, it was an example, okay? I'm just saying it's an example from the Starbucks experience. You can read the book for yourself, audience, if you want. Starbucks is not paying for that ad, okay? Just sharing knowledge,
That part.
sharing my understanding of my reading. You can get the book yourself,
There you go.
okay? And so did you have any final uh share, story, or insight that you wanted to give to the audience before we end this show today?
I'm trying to think. I had a saying. I read this somewhere. It said, if you give a, all right, let me see if I got this right. So if you give a clown the kingdom, it doesn't turn the clown into a king. It turns the kingdom into a circus. So what I took from that is when you don't go through the proper channels and you don't understand like what it takes to be a king, just because you get to this spot because you want this title or you want to be there, it doesn't make you that person, right? What actually happened is you revert back to whatever your ways are, and it messes up everything. So it's important to go through the proper steps, go through the challenges, go through the turmoil, because that is what makes you really qualified for that role. And I had to learn that in life, going through a lot of things, a lot of losses, doing events and taking a lot of L's,
Oh,
to
I know about
understand.
that.
Oh, absolutely, to understand what it takes to be successful and being able to replicate that. So it just, again, I think I got that right. That when if you give a clown a kingdom, it doesn't make a clown a king. It makes the ends up turning the kingdom into a circus.
Yes, I mean, it's very visual.
Yeah.
It it makes sense. I hope y'all get it. Digest that. Sit with that.
Let
Okay?
that sit in your soul.
Yes. So, Marlon Whitfield, thank you for
Yes.
being a guest on our show today.
Thank you.
Did you want to give out any information regarding if anyone wanted to connect with you or your nonprofit organization
Yeah, you
or
can
support it?
yeah, absolutely. So you can go to the website. It's the Whitfield Foundation .care. You can make donations. You can look at the programs. If you want to also support our film camp, it's called onthesetcamp.com. And if you want to follow us on social media, follow me on social media as Mr. Marlon W.
Did I say your name right?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. I'm over here like Whitfield. You
Yeah,
say it a
Whitfield.
little, it's more
Whitfield.
defined
Whitfield.
when you say it.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
All right, y'all. This has been the Tea Time with Tara show, where you have a voice and it needs to be heard. Y'all chime in. Let us know what you think about this episode today. And don't forget to share your testimonies. Also, if you want your own copy of the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny, that link is below as well. We'll be back next time. Remember, everything you want to become, you already are. I am Tara M. Williams. Until next time.